Mrs. Merlin, come on down.
Hello, Marlon.
Hi.
Hi, thank you.
We haven't ordered yet, Marlon, so you're just in time.
Wow, what a beautiful menu. We didn't have anything like this when I first came here. We had just one item. It was home-cooked food, very tasty, but what a choice. Things have really changed around here.
How do you know all that?
Well, I was here from the beginning, 50-some years ago. I could tell you so many stories.
Would you mind sharing a few?
You have the time?
I don't know. Do we have time, guys? Yeah. Well, yeah.
Mount Miguel is an interesting place. I know because I've lived here for 24 years. But I had some other experiences early on when I had the privilege of being the first director when Mount Miguel opened in 1965. Because Mount Miguel Covenant Village and similar facilities was a new concept in the sense that people had to put up money for their retirement, and that was a hard sell. Here in San Diego was the site of one of our Covenant churches, and in that church there was a gentleman by the name of Emil Cavallin. He had a concern for the aged and had begun collecting funds, hoping someday to develop a facility that would provide a home for those who were getting old like himself. Well, Emil got rather old and knew he wasn't going to be able to see the fruition of this, and he asked Jess Bailey, a businessman here in town, if he wouldn't take over this fund, and Jess did so. And through that, he contacted Paul Brandell, an attorney in Chicago, and Neil Saxelson, the administrator of the Covenant Hospital in Chicago. And out of that began a relationship that eventually developed in Mount Miguel Covenant Village. Spring Valley was a new and growing area at that time, back in the 60s. And because there was no development east of the church or east of Kempton Street, it was decided that that would be a good location. The early team that was involved in the development of the village are seen here in this picture going over the original plans with the architect, Mr. Axelson, Mr. Bailey, Mr. Joe Broman, one of the local pastors, the architect, Mr. Delorier, Paul Brandell, and Reverend Pratt, who was a pastor of the Covenant Church across the street. The first building that was built was the 400 building, now gone, and is now our new central facilities building. We had a beautiful lounge. The dining room was in that same building. The kitchen in the same building. We also had a shuffleboard court. We had a putting green, as you can see it today. And this was my team back in those days. Sonny Bland, who became a resident after I moved, way on the left here, myself and some of the kids, including my daughter, the blonde standing in front of me. We had a pool which was located where Bailey Center is today. That was filled in and Bailey Center built in that spot. And on the other side we had a croquet court. The first bus was a 16-passenger Mercedes-Benz, and it was a hot little car. I happened to be the chauffeur at that time also. Here they were grading for the 100 building. It had a wing that became our first intermediate care facility, and finally, after several years, we could offer a full spectrum of care to the residents. By this time, the population had grown from 3 to 80, so it was an interesting time and a time for all kinds of opportunities to serve those who are getting older. Well, that's the history of Mount Miguel. Hey, Barbara, wake up.
I understand there's quite a number of residents here that have been an integral part of Mount Miguel since the beginning.
Yes, Howard, definitely. In fact, I've invited some of my friends and asked them to share their story with you.
When reflecting on what Mount Miguel Covenant Village means to me, I was impressed by how God used people, dedicated people, to provide the facility we enjoy today.
And I've always felt so secure here in the village.
The thing that impressed us the most at the beginning and continued throughout our connection here is the caring spirit of the place.
We enjoy Mount Miguel, especially since Mount Miguel has houses off campus, so we can we'll do our own thing, but still have all the availability variety of activities.
It means so much to my kids that I am here and secure, and they know that I am ready to live here and be cared for and get to go from this heavenly place to my real heaven.
Never planned on living here, but one day I may live here, so we'll see what happens.
I like the buildings. I like all the floral pieces that we see and the beautiful landscaping. But you know what's really the best? The best is the people.
The best thing about here, I think, is the fact that you have so many activities that you can get into. Volunteer activities, intellectual activities, musical activities, and the trips we took were just wonderful.
And I have encouraged many, many other folks to move out here also, and it's been a great time. Looking forward to many more happy years.
It is really good to have friends that you've known for a long time living here, that you can still socialize with and enjoy the various amenities that the village has to offer.
Mount Miguel means a place for family. Beyond that, it's friends who are like family, all the part of this caring Christian community.
Wow, those are some amazing stories. Come a long way since then.
And look at this new building.
The old saying, blink and you miss it, sure holds true in this case.
You know, with so many activities and programming around here, there really is no time to retire.
Well, then I can sure see why you would want to continue being employed here at Mount Miguel.
Definitely so. And incidentally, I've got to drive in 10 minutes, so I'll be seeing you, Howard.
All right.
Bye.
Well, drive safe.